What's up, guys? It's Jess here, and I am coming to you live via Handstand. And in this video today, we're gonna be talking about all the things that you need to do in order to qualify Instagram influencers. I'm gonna be showing you 3 things that I check before I work with someone so I can take out the guesswork and know that the influencer I'm using is going to make me money. So let's jump on my laptop, and I will see you guys in a second. Alright guys, so I want to do this video a little bit different than all the other influencer videos that are out there. So we are going to start off by going over a couple ways you can find influencers, then we're going to go into actually qualifying them. So Shoutcart is a marketplace where you can buy and sell social media shoutouts. So influencers come on here and they advertise their sites, and you can actually set up a completely free account and browse through the influencers that are listed on this platform. And it's a great way to find people in your niche, but I wouldn't actually recommend buying from this site because it is kind of a middleman, third-party company. So what you want to do is you want to find the influencer on this site, and then you can reach out to them directly. You're going to get a much better price if you do that because, again, they aren't paying a percentage to Shoutcart, but it is a great tool to kind of search because you can go specifically by category of people that are offering shoutouts, so you know that they are looking for work. So keep it in mind, but I do 99% of all of my research on Instagram, so let's jump on my phone and go through a couple of different accounts. Alright, so when I am searching on Instagram for an influencer, I like to look by people or by hashtags. So for this tutorial, we're just going to start off by looking for people. And let's use a simple niche. Let's stick with pit bulls because that seems to be a really popular niche on Shopify, and it'll be one with a lot of accounts. So what we would do is we would just type in pit bulls here in the search bar. And right now we're under top, so these top accounts are the largest accounts under that specific keyword. And we can see here that there are a ton of different accounts. And so what we would do is we would just start to go through these individually and check out a couple of different things to actually qualify them. So let's just use this first one here for example. So as we can see, this one's called Pitbulls of Instagram, and the first thing we see is that they have 5,323 posts. So they have obviously been around for more than 5 or 6 years because normally people only post 1 or 2 times a day at most, and they seem to be extremely consistent with that. They have 1.6 million followers, which is great, and with larger accounts like this, the engagement percentage is going to go down. So the minimum percentage I would work with for an account that has this large of a following would be a 1% engagement rate. And so I'm going to show you guys how to do that in just a second, but we're just going to go over a couple more things about the account. So we can see here that they have a well-written description at the top, and that's definitely something you want to look at because you don't want to work with someone that has something weird at the top that's going to turn people away, or something that is really counterintuitive to your branding and what your store stands for. So we see here that this says, $30,000 donated. So they obviously work with rescues and adopting pit bulls, which is a really great cause, and it's a really nice thing to play into when you're actually doing your marketing. And we also see their email address here for shoutouts. So the next thing that we would want to do is kind of start to look through the feed and see what type of posts they are doing. So we can see here that they have a bunch of videos, so maybe they specialize in viral videos and that's how they got this large of a following. And then we would just start to kind of go through and look at these individual posts. So we can see here that this first one is obviously a shout out for probably a Shopify store, and that's a good sign that other people are using this influencer. It's been up for 19 hours and it has 7,372 likes and 124 comments. So we can assume that at least 1% of that is converting. And then what we would want to do from here is go through the comments and double check that this account isn't working with an engagement group to get these comments. And the way that we do that is by looking at what people are saying. So you want to look for more engaging posts where people are tagging their friends or they're actually commenting about the actual item. We want to make sure that it's not really generic words like great or cute, awesome, or just something really simple, because usually those are engagement groups type of comments. And then the other thing we can do is we can actually go onto some of these people's accounts and just make sure that they themselves don't have a huge following and that they're not also related to a specific type of niche, or they don't have a large account that they're also running shout outs on, because that's a good sign that this specific influencer is working with an engagement group. So we would just click on some of these people. We can see here she has 221 people following her. This guy's got 190. Sophia's got 773. She's got her Pitbull right here, so she obviously is a Pitbull lover. And so this kind of stuff looks good to me. You see like longer comments here. You see people tagging their friends. So this is exactly the kind of stuff that we are looking for. And we would just want to do that on a couple more of their posts that aren't shout outs. So let's see what else they've got. So this video has 185,000 views. So they obviously are specializing in viral videos. And whether they're pushing these to the main screen or they just have organic traffic coming to the site, this is a really good amount of views for that amount of followers. And then we also want to make sure that, again, that the ratio of comments and likes kind of evens out. So we can see here that this has 945 comments. So we would, again, just want to kind of come on to the comments and go through these and double check that people are actually real and that they are engaging and leaving really interested comments in this specific page. So this girl's saying, "My heart melted, nice dog, but not a bully." So what type of breed? So these are great. You know, people are definitely engaging on this site. And so we would just go through a couple more of these, and we're not going to go through too much of it, but that's how you guys want to do it. Another quick thing I want to talk about is, if you are looking to work with a page, I would consider running a story post first, and don't be afraid to ask them for a screenshot of one of their recent posts so you can see what type of numbers they're working with. And you can also ask them for insights into their audience, so you know if most of their followers are men or women, and if they actually line up with what you're trying to target. And if someone's a little bit weird about showing you their audience insights, then I wouldn't even work with them, because it's not something that's crazy to ask with. That's like a big red flag that they're probably buying followers, or they are just not the kind of person that you want to actually commit to and create a relationship and actually start to send money their way and do multiple posts on their site if the first one goes well. Another thing I want to show you before we go into some of the other sites I want to talk about to double check that they are a good influencer is, if you are looking for more accounts, all you have to do is just press this little down arrow button, and Instagram is actually going to generate a bunch of different accounts that are very similar. So you can actually go through these and check some of these out and see if some of these might be a good fit for you as well. But in order to get their engagement rate, all we do is we go onto a site called Flanks, and this site is $25 a month, but it's worth every penny as long as you are using influencers more than once or twice a month, and you do get a 30-day free trial, so definitely check it out. And all we would do is we would just type in the name of the influencer. So this one's called Pitbulls of Instagram. And again, for a large following like 1.6 million, we need at least a 1% engagement rate. And obviously we want that to be higher. The higher the engagement percent, the better. And we can see here they have a 2.27. For 1.6 million followers, that's a pretty good engagement percentage. And then we have the average interactions per post as well, which is definitely really important to look at. So they are getting about 35,000 likes on every single post and over 1,000 comments on each, which is great. So the last thing that we would want to do before we actually reach out to this influencer is we would want to come on to another site called Social Blade. And Social Blade is completely free, and you're going to be able to track the statistics and actually understand the growth of that specific account. So we want to make sure that the accounts we're using are constantly growing and evolving, and we want to make sure that they're not buying followers. And so this is a great way to check that. So all you would do is you would choose the platform that you are planning to work with. And you can also do shout outs on YouTube and Twitter. I know YouTube works really well for some niches, so definitely keep that in mind. And then we're just gonna search here. And it's gonna give us a basic rank as well. So we can see here this account has a B+ rank, which is not bad. We definitely want at least a B. Even though C's get degrees, we don't wanna work with C's. But if you come down, we can see here all of the follower statistics. So we see here on Monday, they got 137. Tuesday, they only got 4 followers. Wednesday was 184, 126, 360. So these numbers are really inconsistent, especially for followers for an account that has 1.6 million. We would want to be looking for numbers that are much higher than this. Now, obviously, you can see here that they're not losing too many followers, so it doesn't completely ruin the account for me, because as long as they're keeping the following that they have and the engagement rate is okay, then it's not a bad account to actually work with. And then the last thing that we want to look at is the growth rate over a certain amount of time. So we can see here that this account started April of 2015, and at the beginning, they were growing really quickly. And then we see this little bump right here. And we don't want these on our graphs, because this means either one of two things. So it means either that they bought followers, which is a big no-no, or that they had a video go viral, which is also a really good possibility. So one of these is not anything that you should be worried about, but more than one, I definitely would not work with someone that has a bunch of these, because a lot of their followers are not going to be real, and so it's not an account you want to work with. And we can see here that towards August 2016, 2017, it starts to kind of plateau, and they're at that 1.6 million mark, and they're not growing very quickly from here. So just kind of something to look out for. But overall, I don't think that it's a bad account. I personally like to work with smaller accounts between 100 and 500,000 followers that have a higher engagement rate, because for one, the posts are going to be a little bit cheaper, and if you can get a better engagement rate, then you're going to end up seeing similar results. So just something to keep in mind. And then the last thing I want to talk about before we kind of go over how to reach out to these people and get the most comments and actual engagement back is I want to talk about telling your influencers that you need an NIF. An NIF is none in front. So you want to make sure that your influencer knows that they can't post before or after for a certain amount of hours after your post, because a lot of accounts will like to put a shout out up and then they want to post again 10 minutes later, and so their followers will only see that previous post in the feed. So you want to make sure that you're asking for that when you are reaching out to them. And to actually reach out to the influencers is really simple. We would just come back to the account, and we can see here that we can go directly to the email. So for the subject line, we want to make sure to include some emojis, because research actually shows that people are much more likely to open up your email if there are emojis. It gets them excited or something, or it catches their eye. So we're just going to throw in some of these firecrackers, and we're just going to name the subject promo post. And then your copy should look something like this. It just says, hello, I came across your Instagram account. I love your work, so make sure to throw in a compliment. I would like to work with you. What are your story and page post rates? Looking forward to hearing back. And then your name. And then you just send that off. And we're obviously not going to send this because I don't work in the pitbull niche. And then you could just copy that text and actually go back to their Instagram page and message them directly here. And again, you would want to include some emojis at the top so that if they do see it, that they're more likely to actually open it. But the chances of them actually responding to an Instagram message are a lot less likely, especially with 1.6 million followers, because they are probably getting blown up. But it is, again, you know, worth a shot for a couple seconds of your time. So guys, we talked about a ton of different stuff today. Just to sum everything up, the 3 things you need to look for are: 1, you need to make sure that the page has organic comments and likes, and that the 2 have a good ratio. you need to make sure that the influencer has a minimum of 1% engagement rate. And that's, again, bare minimum. We want to look for something more between 2 and 5% or anything above. And then the last one is to make sure that the account has a consistent, steady amount of growth and that they are buying followers. So if you guys found this video helpful, you liked it, make sure you leave me a comment down below. Say hey, say what's up, leave me a big thumbs up that you liked the video. And if you haven't, just hit that subscribe button already. It's right down here. Just turn on the notifications because I'm going to be showing you guys a bunch of new stuff and I'm going to be putting out new videos every single week. So I will see you guys on the next one.